So here's a part that I've been working on. You have a 04 to 09 95 PCV box, and a common upgrade people like to do is to replace it with the Pro Parts hose because it has a metal check valve. And as I've learned with this hose, that's kind of where the merits of it stop. So first set out to make a silicone version of it. The merits of that are that sometimes getting this where you want it to be able to, whether you're taking it on or putting it off, have access to the release clips. With the nylon hose, it's rigid, so you don't have as much free space to get it where you want it to get it on easily. And I mean, if you ever try to take one of these off that have been on for many years, it can be difficult. So the silicone version definitely helps with that. You have free movement of everything. Simple. Now, something else I didn't expect to the extent I found was, it's like, all right, so now that we have the fittings, let's check out the O-rings inside of it. So these fittings have 2 O-rings, and that's how that nipple seals. You have the lip that goes past this gray part and locks in place. On the Pro Parts hose, I actually have one of them out right now. You see the black rubber in there, and so there's the other O-ring. This is just it's shiny. Turn the light off. Shiny black, and so that's just a standard Buna rubber. So naturally, it's like, okay, let's put some higher quality, higher temperature rated rubber in there, like silicone or Viton. But when I was thinking about why these can be difficult to remove sometimes, that's where I noticed on the Pro Parts hose. So you have the 2 O-rings, but in between them, if I can get a focus on there, in between them, there's this little black spacer piece, and it's just floating in there, you see? And so I could very easily see when you have the other O-ring, so you'd have O-ring, spacer, O-ring, and it's just one big channel that all that stuff sits in inside this whole housing. I could see one of those O-rings rolling over on itself because it's just this flimsy black plastic spacer in there. And that could certainly make it difficult to remove later. So on the hose I'm making, let's see, first of all, much more colorful, but it shows everything great. The 2 O-rings, you can see them here. You have yellow and brown. The yellow one is a silicone O-ring, and the brown one is a Viton O-ring. Either one of them, you could do the same thing for both, but I feel like this shows it better. But on this connector, that channel between them, it's not a spacer. There are 2 separate molded channels in this fitting. So it's just part of the housing. It's not just one big channel. So you are not going to have the O-ring roll over on itself like that. Or that piece of plastic break. Imagine all the heat on that little flimsy piece of plastic. That could easily break, and now good luck getting that thing on or off, or having that thing fall into the hose, and all kinds of things. So this, I think, is a much better setup. Just eliminates a possible failure point of this little flimsy piece of plastic in there. I mean, if I went in there and dug at it, I could easily snap it. So anyways, just thinking of all the ways to make this hose better, make it easier to get on and off, make the O-rings last longer, get a better quality check valve. So metal check valve with a Viton diaphragm in there. And I have clamps on here. These are barbed fittings, but I have clamps on just for some added security. The other thing that is already done now is we now offer this O-ring. So you've probably had a 9.5 that's developed an oil leak right there. And I have seen some cars where the actual plastic weld right there can get some holes and cause some oil leaks, but definitely this O-ring can cause some leaks. And if all you need is an O-ring, you don't want to replace the whole box and deal with all of that just for a little O-ring. So here's the factory O-ring. This is an OEM box. And the factory O-ring is actually a nice quality one. It's green, so that probably means that it's HNBR, which is like an AC O-ring. Great material. But we've spec'd out one in Viton, brown, and it's cheap. So if you need that, we have that available now. And the final things would be, started thinking about these two hoses too. So you have this one, which goes up around the passenger side. It's the long one. It has that gray valve in it. And that valve is not actually a check valve. It's like an air restriction valve. And so it limits airflow one way versus the other. It doesn't block it, but it just limits it in a certain direction with the spring that's inside of it. So working on something with that. And similarly with this hose, this is the one that goes up to the valve cover. It's got the two little prongs on it that clip on. Working on that, getting that one made too. And see if we can come up with some just better solutions, So not try to rewrite the wheel, but just look at where do problems start? What are the issues you have with these hoses other than say, oh, the plastic breaks? Well, okay, the plastic breaks, but it can be hard to get on and off. So let's try to address that problem. A better quality check valve. Don't just get blinded by shiny metal. Metal good, no. There are levels of things in there. So you don't want to go with the bottom of the barrel one. Anyways, just some stuff I'm working on for the 9.5. Been doing a lot of stuff with the 9.3 in the last few months, but it's nice to get to the 9.5 and try some stuff there. Thank you.